Welcome to the first official episode of the Affirm with Ease podcast. I'm your host, Chalice, and I'm so overjoyed to be here with you. On today's episode, we're going to be focusing on what is meditation. I personally had a hard time understanding what meditation was. As someone who has a yoga background, a dance background, just movement background, it didn't make sense to me. And I wanted to bring this as the first episode as we're going to move into affirmations, meditations, conversations. I want you all to be aware of what it actually means. I want to help someone along the way. So, the definition of meditation from our good sis over at Google says, meditation is a practice in which we use techniques such as mindfulness. Let's pause there. Because what is mindfulness, right? It's a mental state achieved by focusing one's awareness on the present moment while calmly acknowledging and accepting one's feelings, thoughts, and bodily sensations used as a therapeutic technique. So let's go back. What is meditation? Meditation is a practice in which we use techniques such as mindfulness or focusing the mind on a particular object, thought, or activity to train attention and awareness and achieve a mentally clear and emotionally calm and stable state. So let's think about that. So for me, once I had a better understanding of what meditation meant in the words of how can I explain it to other people, it started to mean a little something different to me when I actually practice meditation and mindfulness. The purpose that I got from it was just to give myself a sense of peace and balance, to help benefit and bring clarity to my emotional and well-being, overall health, right? It was just like anytime my nervous system felt completely unhinged, anytime I was dealing with something that was out of my control, my anxiety was, taking me down bad, I would seek out meditation, but I still just didn't know how to explain it or really even explain what I was doing. And because of that, I was like, there has to be other people that must feel the same way. There has to be other people that they know what they're doing. They know when they're in it, if they're being in a guided meditation, but they can't necessarily explain it. So like I said, I wanted to start this episode off with what is meditation. And to make it very, very short, if you gather nothing from whatever I said earlier, right? Think of it as a safe place for you to go to when you're a little overwhelmed. Think of it as a tactic, a tool when you're having an anxiety attack. Or it doesn't always have to be for something that's going on for you. Maybe you just constantly practice meditation because you like the way it feels for you. You like zoning in on something in particular and bringing life and bringing energy to whatever it is that is important to you. So it doesn't always have to be because you're having such a bad day, you have to go and meditate. You will wake up feeling amazing and you just want to continue that feeling, right? You just want to be mindful and aware of your emotions, aware of how you're feeling. One thing that I always do in my practices is I always start off checking in with how I am mentally doing. This is something I do in my classes with my students. This is something I do when I wake up in the morning. I check in on what my mental health scale is. So what that means is from starting from a low 1, feeling like crap, all the way up to a 10, feeling the best I've ever felt. I check in with myself to see how I'm doing so that I know how I can show up for the people that I have to interact with on that day, in that time, in that space. And it allows me to be honest and ask for what I need or to let people know what I don't need. So in this moment, I do invite you, if you want to, you don't have to just take a beat, take a minute and think about where you are right now. How are you feeling on a scale of 1 to 10? In this moment right now, I'm about a 7. I'm not at no 10. But I'm not super low. I feel like I'm just coasting. If it was like an ABC, I'd be about a C right now. I'm maintaining, I'm coasting. So I invite you to maybe start to think about how you are feeling and sharing how you're feeling with other people so that they know how to interact with you. They know how to place you and assist you along the way. And within those mental health scans of check-ins, sometimes what happens is if I'm feeling like a low 2 or a 3, sometimes the meditation that I'll use after pushes me up to maybe a 5. Or maybe I'm still at a 3, but my mindset is a little different. Just always being aware of how you're feeling, what you need, and being able to work on communicating your needs, your wants, that is helpful. So next, I just want to go into the steps of meditation. Maybe you take guided meditations. Maybe you go on YouTube. Maybe you listen to other podcasts that do guided meditations. I personally like to use Insight Timer. I will link all that below, and any other apps that I use. But if you don't have access to apps or those don't work for you and you just want to meditate on your own or try meditating on your own, I just wanted to share some steps that you can do to meditate. So the first step in meditation is starting in a comfortable position. So that can mean anything. Maybe you're seated, maybe you're laying down, maybe you're standing. Whatever resonates for you, whatever is comfortable for you, you just get there. Maybe trying to make sure that the space that you're in is quiet or that you have headphones on to zone out any noise, any chatter. And then the next step is you're just going to deep breathe. Now, deep breathing can look differently. Maybe it's just a simple inhale and exhale. Maybe you do a 4-4-4 breath. You inhale for 4, hold for 4, exhale for 4. There's so many different breathing techniques that you can do. Just finding a technique that works for you. I personally love taking a community inhale in and doing an audible exhale out. I love those breaths to start my practice in anything that I do. And then maybe moving into a closed mouth exhale, inhale through the nostrils. Next, if you feel safe, you can close your eyes, or maybe you just bring your gaze down low. Whatever resonates with you, safety first. So just making sure you're comfortable doing whatever choice it is that you'd pick. And then the fourth step, you're just going to begin to scan your body and notice any sensations. If your fingertips are tingling, if you have a toothache, if your lips are dry, anything that comes up, just being aware of how your body is feeling from the crown of your head all the way down to the soles of your feet. The next step is just being aware of any thoughts that are coming up for you. Maybe you start to focus on whatever it is that you need. Maybe you're just, this isn't guided and you close your eyes and what comes up and you acknowledge it and be aware of it. But if your mind begins to wander, you just come back to your breath. I think that part is what sometimes troubles people in meditation, because they're like, okay, my eyes are closed, I'm breathing. Now I'm thinking about going buying groceries in an hour. Or now I'm thinking about this and that. So sometimes people think that because their mind drifts that they're not meditating anymore, like they lost it. And I'm here to tell you, my mind drifts every time I meditate, okay? I am not the best meditation person on my own, and that's okay, right? So your brain is going to wander sometimes, but every time it wanders, come back to that initial breath. Come back to that 4-4-4 breath or the inhale audible breath. Come back to whatever is going to slow down the chatter in your mind and bring you back to the present moment. And once you feel as though you've gotten what you need out of it, once that heart rate has slowed down, you're going to gently open up your eyes and bring movement back into the body and continue with your day. Sometimes after I meditate, I love to journal down whatever thoughts came up for me or how I'm feeling. Sometimes I like to journal before I meditate and then after, just to compare how I'm feeling. And if you do that mental health scan, that number, checking in, did your number increase, decrease, stay about the same? Just constantly being aware of how you're feeling, checking in. I think those are important steps in your practice. Now that we have a better understanding on what the heck meditation is, what mindfulness is, I invite you to try it on your own. On this podcast, I will be adding affirmations, I'll be adding meditations, and like I said, just conversations about what things are, how we're feeling, checking in. I am available on social media at Chalice Crawford. You can find me on Instagram, YouTube, all the things. So don't hesitate to email me if you have any questions. If you would like to work together, just shoot me a message and I'll be happy to figure out how we can work together, how we can grow together and heal together. Thank you so much for listening. Be well. Don't forget, you are deserving, you are worthy, you are loved, you are seen, you matter. Bye.